I got my nice shiny new trim piece, the bottom that's going to hold the glass in the shower. Can you tell a little bit of a difference between the old and the new? There you go, the old and the new. So the way I did this is I took 4 clamps and I clamped 2 side by side here to hold it together, the nice new one, and then one on the back piece of it. And then I did one top to bottom on my 2x4 here, so that way it holds it, you know, nice and steady while I'm cutting, right? And then side by side so it doesn't slip. And then I took a metal, I think it was a 7-inch grinder blade, but it was made for cutting metal, and it worked perfectly fine in the circular saw. In fact, they even advertised that it would work here in the circular saw or grinder. And then I just went down, right down the edge, and got exactly the same perfect cut for the dimensions of the original one that was there. So anyway, let me take this off here, and then I'll try not to drop this stuff here. I mean, dude, like, that's a nice reflection. You can see my sandals. And let's see, it's probably gonna drop. Yep, sure is. But anyway, what I did is I took this small little file. I didn't take a big rasp or anything. And then I just went through and knocked off the burrs on the edges. And yeah, nothing is perfect. But I made sure everything was rounded and smooth and no burrs that were left. And then that's gonna fit up. I need to file that down just a tad bit more just to make sure it's nice and pretty. But yeah, so that's how I got the dimensions on that. The next thing I'll be doing is doing a little finish polishing on it. This is the bottom side of the track where the window glazing is going to go. So I'll put window glazing in here and get everything set in place. So there you go. That's how you do it. But I thought you'd like to see the difference between the before. Let me pick up this old piece. The before and the after. Yeah, I tried polishing this one, and that's the best I got. That's why I just said, screw it, I'm just gonna buy all new and cut it myself. So anyway, hopefully we'll get the track in a little bit. We'll talk to you later. Bye. Yeah, I should have explained this. I apologize, man. The reason that this kind of looks crappy the way it is because I tried to clean it and polish it. I don't know if you can see it, but there's all these like scrapes and scuffs on it. This, you can even tell where the line of original silicone was. I tried to get the original silicone off of here as best I could without scratching it. Did not work. So that's why it kind of looks crappy, is because when I took it off, well, it wasn't nearly this shiny, first of all. It was shiny, but it was a little bit dull. But getting this silicone off here was the ultimate pain in the butt. So once I got all the silicone off, it was scratched, so then I tried to polish it, it looked like crap. So that's why I ended up going with this nice bright shiny. Hey, there you go, there's my cell phone. But that's partly why this looks the way it does. It didn't look quite this bad when it was originally sitting in the shower before I took it out. That silicone's a pain in the butt to get off, and you got to get off every single speck of it from anything. The tile was significantly easier because it didn't scratch like this stuff did, and I wasn't using anything heavy. I was just using some razor blade, you know, flat razor blade to try to scrape it off. But yeah, it did not work, so I just said, screw it, let me just replace the whole thing and be done with it. But that's kind of why this looks as bad as it does. It didn't look this bad when it was sitting there, but the track was full of mold and stuff, and the bottom was, yeah. Oh, yeah, so coming back, I think I mentioned this in earlier in this video or in another video, but you're supposed to put glazing in here, and I think I mentioned this before, is glazing is used in doors and windows and showers and that sort of thing when they're doing this kind of track. It's a type of foam, and it's closed cell foam, which won't let air and water and wind through. And one of the tracks toward the door, they had put window glazing in here, but you can even see the remnants. And the other two tracks at the bottom of the shower, they just took some regular silicone and, just, drew a line in it. You can still even see the original line of silicone, and it wasn't holding properly because, first of all, they didn't put enough, and two, it didn't bond right and all sorts of stuff. So the track that was next to the door did have this, and it was stuck to the floor. I literally thought it was screwed down. And then I go to take out the other two and it just popped right out because, it wasn't holding. And that's partly what was letting the water through. But you can see the evidence of where the original track of silicone. Look, there's a little dot bead there and just a little squirt down the center of the track. I mean, it was just done wrong. I think they probably did one piece and they had a little bit of glazing and they ran out and they were just like, screw it. So again, this is why you watch what people are doing to make sure they do it right. Because it would probably not have had any mold or mildew issues if it had been done right, and then I wouldn't have to be redoing all this because there was all sorts of mold growing on both sides.